And it's time for another matchup in the first round of the Cheap Lager Championship. Wow, am I enjoying this championship? No, I'm really not. It's quite painful, in fact, to get through. But you never know. We could have some nice hidden gems in the horizon, some lagers that I actually am enjoying drinking. So, first, before we go any further, let's have a look at the table. So here is the table, and the first one to get through to the quarterfinals was the Galahad from Aldi, and then we saw the Coors go through, and in the last matchup, if you remember, the Budweiser went through against the Carlsberg. Well, now we have got these two beers. We've got a can of the Brewdog Cold Beer Lager, which counts because it was £4, about £4.05 or something for 4 cans, and it's only 3.4% ABV. So that's in there. Excelsior, it's dead cheap, and it's 3.4% ABV again. That seems to be like the level that these kind of lagers are at. Most of them are 3.4% ABV for some reason. So yeah, so we got this against this. Now I know I'm not sure if I've reviewed the Excelsior, but I know it's a good lager. Well, I thought it was quite a decent lager for the price, should we say? But I've reviewed this one, and I remember saying some nice things about it. So hopefully it will give me something to talk about, because so far in the championship there's been very little to talk about for any of the beers. But this one I think will be quite a strong matchup, and Avis have some really rubbish lagers up against each other. So far, this could be an interesting one, which shows just a random draw. Is it the fairest way of doing it? I don't know, really. We'll have to see. Yeah, Excelsior, I know, is a lager which is not rubbish, and this stuff is not rubbish either. So there you go. Not rubbish, I think, is the gold standard that we can aspire to for this particular championship. But anyway, less talking, more drinking. Let's get these into glasses and start the taste test. Okay, beer's poured, and as is often the case, we've got a creamier head on this one, and on this one's fluffier. I think we've got quite a difference in colours. It seemed like we had quite a difference in colours actually, but now they don't look. This one does look a little bit darker than this one. So this one's a little bit darker. Anyway, for anybody who wants to know at home, this is which one is which. Okay, that one was which one was which. Now, let's have a little look at these then. So we got the old, that one had quite a big head before it dissipated. This one's holding its head a little bit better. Let's have a, so we'll look at the colour again. This one here is lighter than this one. I said that was got, they both look, I don't know, they've not got too much stuff, you know, whizzing up to the top there. They're looking interesting. They are looking interesting beers, these. We will, we'll start getting the nose on them because, you know, why not? Let's do it. Let's have a nose. So, here we go. So, we're getting a bit of a nose on that one. It's a malty nose. There's a bit of lemon. A little bit metallic. But you can't have everything. A little bit of orange. A bit of tangerine in there. That's giving away a lot more on the nose than most of the others that I've had so far in this championship. If both of these are pretty good, it would be a shame to send any of them home, but I'm not going to jump the gun. Slight marmalade notes in there. That is smelling half decent. If I'm smelling pretty, I won't lie actually, it's smelling pretty decent now. I mean, obviously it's the taste is where it's going to happen, because you can get quite a lot of smell out of these lower alcohol beers. That's what lagers are now. They've reduced the alcohol ridiculously. And these lower alcohol lagers now, you can get something from the smell. So when you're tasting it, that's when they get nothing. Let's try the smell on this one. Oh, that's very different. Oh, that's a bit weird. It's giving me a fruitier nose. I'm trying to think what that is. There's something in there it's very strange. A bit like treacle. There's almost like a smell of treacle in there. How very strange. And something else. There's something fruity in there, almost like dark fruits, almost like raisins and stuff. Very bizarre that. Well, that is odd. I didn't expect that kind of smell to come from either. I think I know which one's which. That's a very traditional lager, malty kind of smell to it. This one, A little bit of kind of a worty smell as well. Yeah, almost like an unbrewed or an unfermented wort. Yeah, I'm not sure about the smell of that. Let's have a see what the tastes are like. So we'll go in for this one first. We're going to dive in and get a taste on this one. Cheers. So as usual, the taste falls flat. But there is something there. Has taste. There you go. That's a bonus for this one. It does have some taste. Taste is quite a generic lager taste, but it does have taste. It does taste like a lager. Very smooth. It is smooth though. Very smooth. It's going down very nice and easy. It's not too gassy. There's a bit of malt in the taste. There's not a lot of aftertaste to speak of, really. Possibly a little bit of biscuit. So there you go. That's that one. So that one, there is some taste, and it tastes like a lager. And if you want a lager that tastes like a lager, then you won't be disappointed. Some of the beers that I've reviewed so far, there was no taste whatsoever. That's got a bit of taste. A little bit of aftertaste coming through now. There's something there. If it was a bit stronger, this. I think if this was 5%, it would be quite a nice beer. Okay, let's try this one. Cheers. That one's more interesting. It's got a bit of an earthiness to it. Oh, and there is it's a nice creamy aftertaste to it. Nice, got a buttery, sort of shortbready aftertaste. That smell's putting me off a bit though. But there's nothing wrong with it. Has got a bit more of a crafty vibe to it. There's a little bit of bitterness. It's quite dry. It's got a nice aftertaste. It really has. A little bit of fruit in there, a little bit like almost like oranges, a bit of apple, but diluted with water. Almost like apples in a swimming pool. Kind of a taste. They got apples in a swimming pool. I'm not sure I'm a massive fan of the taste, but it has got a banging aftertaste. Or has it? Yeah, it has got an aftertaste to it, that one, which I do like. So unless I can get some kind of aftertaste out of this one, it's going to be a hard one. Didn't have a water to cleanse my palate. I don't think it'll matter too much. Yeah, that's got a better taste on it. It's quite dry. It's quite lagerish. Well, lagerish. Some of them haven't been. Yeah, not much of a finish to speak of, really. This one's got a bit more of a fruity, crafty twist to it. These are both leagues above a lot of the others. I mean, I thought the Budweiser was quite nice. I think Galahad's alright. Talking about the Coors and that Morrison's monstrosity and the Carlsberg and the Carling, both of these are leagues ahead of both of those. There's a lot going on in the taste here, actually. and it's strange, but not necessarily in a bad way. It's a little bit earthy. Tastes almost a little bit homebrewed, almost like I've never homebrewed a lager, but almost like if you tried to homebrew a lager. There are elements of that in it. This one, more traditional lagery, but there is flavour there. So I'm struggling now in a good way, because both of these are alright, and they're very different. So it's which one do I put through? Which one of these do I put through? I am half tempted to give one of these a wild card, whichever doesn't win, and maybe put it up against one of the others. I don't know, it's a bit weird that, but it's my championship, I'll do what I like. But I don't know. It's a shame. It's a shame because of the draw has done it like this. Because I say these two, I'd say these two are head and shoulders above anything I've had so far. And one of them's going out. But again, this is not really to order them. This is just to find the best. Now I can't remember I know the Excelsior is a lot cheaper than the Brewdog. But it's going to be very tricky. And I'm running out of beer, which is a good thing. It's a shame. If only this had a bit more of an aftertaste, it'd be a slam dunk for this, because this has got quite a nice taste, quite a nice lagerish taste. The more I'm tasting it, the more I'm getting some of those malty notes and things like that. But there's just no aftertaste there. This one, the fact there's a nice sort of buttery shortbread aftertaste. And I am getting something from it. It's a nice aftertaste, that. Well, gotta make my decision. Okay. Right, I'll put it like this. I may make an executive decision and shove one of these in the championship instead of one of the others, because I think it's just really bad that those other three beers, one of those other three beers is getting through. I'm wondering whether the cause, I might replace the cause with the loser out of these two, just because it's just better than the cause. Which is a weird thing to do, but it would break my heart to send either of these home at this stage. So what I might do is I'm going to review so what I'll do is, I'll do it now, I'll tell you now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to review all the other lagers, and whatever the worst one is that gets through to the quarterfinals is going to be either put up against the loser of these two, or is going to be replaced with the loser of these two. I might just replace it. If there's anything that's truly shocking, like the Budweiser and the Coors weren't truly shocking. In fact, I think the Galahad was probably worse than that, but I might give it another chance. I don't know, because I know that I liked the Galahad previously. So if there's anything that gets through that's truly shocking, and I'm thinking maybe the next matchup might have one of those, then it's going to just be replaced. I'm going to replace it whichever loses out of these two. Then it will not break my heart sending one of these two home, because these two are quite interesting. So for that reason, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one through. I think this one is the cold beer lager. So I'm going to put this one through in this particular thing. I think this one is the Excelsior, but we'll find out shortly. And as I say, so this was definitely going through to the next round, and I may not, but I may, when I get to the end of the championships, look and say, look, that thing can't be in this quarters, and I'm going to replace it with the Excelsior. So stay tuned for that. That's going to happen. It's going to be an interesting thing. You heard it here first. I might mention it each of the others in case people didn't see this one, and wonder why I'm doing all this replacement, but we'll find out anyway. So there you go. I've waffled for too long. Let's find out if I was actually right. And I'm back, and I was right. Yeah, this was the cold beer lager. Let's taste it from the can. Yeah, it tastes like I remember it tasting, and from the can it tastes better. It has got a crafty twist to it, but then there's nothing wrong with that. It's Brewdog doing a cold beer lager. They're a sort of craft brewery, and you know they're obviously entitled to give their lager a crafty twist, which they have done. I knew this one would be a little bit of a wild card in the draw because it is a different style to the others. I'm going to know which one that one is. This is the Excelsior. I always thought this and the Galahad were very similar, but this at the moment is streets ahead of the Galahad. Yeah, it's got a bit of flavour and it just tastes quite nice. Excelsior lager from Lidl. So I am very tempted to give this a bit of a pass into the quarters, or certainly I'll probably, in fairness, I will choose which one of the beers so I'll wait till I've done them all. Whichever of the beers that's in the quarterfinals that I want to drink the least, whichever I look forward to listening, oh god, I don't want to drink that again. I think I'll face it off against this in an extra round. So I'll do an extra round where it faces off against the Excelsior. Blind taste test, just to give the Excelsior a chance to get back in to the tournament. Because I think it's unfair that a beer this good, and I will say this good because it is decent beer, this, is getting knocked out so early on. The Brewdog Cold Beer Lager, I could have gone the other way. The craftiness will only take it so far, I think. I can't keep saying, well, this is crafty, and it's got some of those nice craft flavours in it, therefore it's better. But it is. It's got flavour to it. It's got complexity of the flavour. It's also got a nice aftertaste. It's going to be a hard one to beat. This, it really is, and it's. And again, you might think, well, let's say you think Brewdog. It's Brewdog. They're not the greatest brewer in the world, or certainly not with the stuff that you get in the supermarkets from Brewdog. I know they're capable of doing some really good imperial stouts and things like that. But Brewdog, you get in the supermarket, they're all over the place. It's not, super exclusive craft, is it really? And this is brewed clearly at a price point to sell it at £4, a pound a can essentially. Less than a pound a can if you get them in big boxes. But they have done a really good job with it, as I've said before. They've done a good job with it. They've given it a crafty twist. They've made it a little bit different. They're giving you a reason to buy it. So Brewdog Cold Beer Lager is going through. It's going to be a hard one to beat, but at the end of the day, it's 3.4% ABV. It was just over £4 for 4 cans. It's allowed in. It's allowed in the championship. If this had the bitterness, it would have beaten it. I prefer a traditional lager than a crafty lager with strange apple flavours and things in it. Unfortunately, the Excelsior didn't have the aftertaste, and so far this is, well, that is nice. That is going nice. That. This is at the moment, it's likely to win the half, really, if you think about it, because I'm not sure if this is the last one. This is the last one in the top half now. So top half of the draw, Cold Beer Lager coming up there. This Excelsior, if it ends up in the other half of the draw, this is going to be a one to watch in the other half, I think. I could quite possibly be drinking the best two lagers now. So I think that's why the Excelsior quite possibly should replace one of the beers in the other half of the draw. But anyway, keep watching and we'll see what happens. But I refuse to send either of these home at this point. So the Brewdog is going to go through in this half, in the top half of the draw. I'll probably replace the Excelsior with the weakest in the bottom half of the draw, but who knows? It might replace the Galahad. We'll have to see. Anyway, I've waffled far too much. This video's probably gone on far too long, but you know what? I actually enjoyed this taste test. Both beers had a bit of flavour. Both beers were different. Both beers were quite enjoyable, and I am looking forward to trying both of these beers again. So there you go. You heard it here first. That's the way it goes. Cold beers through. Excelsior is not out. And we will see it again. But there you go. Shocks and thrills. Until next time. Have a good one.